Assessing men and women for eligibility for FPACT is something providers are very familiar with. Patty, in your experience, how does this usually happen?
Well, generally the process starts at the front desk, and the front desk person asks the client questions to determine whether they would be eligible, and if it seems like they are, they'll give them the application form right then and there. They fill it out, and they are actually receiving services that day.
I agree. It's that simple. There are 4 specific eligibility requirements that go along with the FPACT program. Number 1, the client must be a California resident. Number 2, they must meet the income requirement, which includes being at or below 200% of federal poverty guidelines. Number 3, they must have no other coverage for family planning. And number 4, they must have a medical need for family planning services.
And you know, one thing that's really confusing to a lot of providers, and I think also for a lot of patients, is this concept of confidentiality. Mm-hmm. Because it's true that for a lot of our clients, confidentiality is very important. And I don't just mean, you know, that you don't want your friend to know you're using this method, but you need to have a situation where you don't have your parents find out, or perhaps your spouse or your partner. So that's a special sort of an exception with the FPACT program, that even if you have other family planning services for something else, you know, by some other coverage, if you need confidentiality, then you can go ahead and still get FPACT. But the confusing thing for people is that you still need to meet all the other requirements. It's not like you can get it just because you need confidential services if you have a very high income.
Definitely some good points, and confidentiality is an important factor of family planning. And we at the FPACT program work to accommodate this. Al, can you tell us about some of your experiences with FPACT?
Yeah, the first time I went to the clinic was when I was 15 or 16 with my girlfriend at the time, and we were actually thinking about having sex for the first time.
Wow, that's so responsible to go in and see someone before you have sex for the first time. Don't we wish that all of our young people were doing that?
We do.
Yeah, well, we actually realized that we didn't really know anything, and so we wanted to get the right information, and they gave us condoms, so I told all my friends too, and then they went, and overall it was a really pleasant experience.
And what are some of the challenges you experienced throughout this process?
I'd say that the biggest challenge was back then I thought that I should hide this from my parents, and I was able to talk with them, and again with the confidentiality, they didn't have to release anything that I wasn't willing to release to my parents.
It seems like it all worked out for you. What were some of the successes that you had when you went through this experience?
At first, honestly, I was a little nervous because I was the only guy in there, but then I realized that they were all there just to help, and they made me feel really comfortable. They were willing to answer any questions I had, and they provided me with information about STI checking, about pregnancy scares and such. It was all really helpful.
And what would you say to young men and women who are in the same position as you and need to find out information on FPACT services?
Find out if you qualify.
And do you have any questions for Patty today?
I do not have any questions, but I'd like to encourage everybody, men and women, to go and talk to their providers and ask any questions they may have regarding their health.
Thank you so much, Al, for sharing your experiences with us today.